Good day, gentlemen. In the age of situationships and hookup culture, I have not only found a woman who is interested in depth instead of quick pleasure, but her and I have also built a 7-year relationship that is so fulfilling, so rich, so adventurous, that we're happy to miss out on whatever most people do these days. Look, everything we build as men, the body, the business, the house, the wealth, it all fades. But if we do it right, our relationship will be the best and the strongest it's ever been at the end of our life. And I'll be honest, it took a lot of learning for me to get here. Nobody teaches us men this stuff. So I want to give you 3 crucial lessons, no bullshit lessons, on building lasting and meaningful relationships. These lessons would have saved me so much pain and so much struggle if someone had given them to me early on. So please take this serious. So firstly, the answer to how do I survive the age of meaningless love that we're in right now, the answer is slow love. Slow love works. And after I tell you my story, I'll explain exactly why it works. And at the end, I'll give you the one key insight that I needed to actually make it work. But I need to tell you my story first, so you actually understand what we're talking about here. So, when I met my girl, I'll be honest, I was interested very quickly. And I asked her out on a couple dates. I think it was 3 in total. First time, she said she was ill. Second time, she's like, I need to hang out with my grandmother. Third time, she was ill again. This was in the span of like 2 weeks, maybe 1.5 weeks. And to be honest, I have a very sensitive bullshit detector. So I was like, you know what? I'm not interested anymore. I'm not gonna pursue this because there's no reciprocation here. And now you're wondering, well, Benny, how did you then end up getting together? Well, she became interested in me a couple months later. And at that point, I started actually pursuing this again because, well, she was still an interesting person to me, right? And dude, we went for dates for months, going down to the lake, having ice cream together, whatever else, that kind of stuff, right? And we didn't even have our first kiss until we had months of dates. I didn't see any other girls during that time. She didn't see any other guys during that time. We simply wanted to figure out whether this is something for us, whether there's alignment here. And now we've been together for over 7 years. And of course, that didn't just happen like that. I go into why that worked and all of that in all of my videos, right? But what I can tell you is all my friends back then, they all told me, hey bro, you have to kiss her on the next date and you have to ask her to be your girlfriend, don't stop waiting around, what if you miss out, what if she falls in love with another guy, all this stuff, right? They all wanted me to make this official quicker and to make this whole process of dating much quicker. And I didn't. And now I'm in a 7-year relationship and none of these friends that gave me this advice are still in the relationship that they were in 7 years ago. Just let that sink in for a moment. I went on dates for months with her. No kiss, no nothing. Just hanging out, getting to know each other. Figuring out whether we are aligned to, well, essentially spend our life together, which is a pretty fucking big deal. And here's the thing, you're like, oh, but this takes so much time, whatever else. Think about it in this sense. Think about it in a kind of business analogy, right? Entrepreneurship analogy, because I run a business, I've ran multiple businesses, so I can talk about business, and a lot of the guys here that watch these videos, they run businesses as well, which is why I make videos for busy men who, all this stuff, right? Who have shit going for them in their life. If you want to build a massive business that will make millions, maybe billions over the next 10, 20, 30 years, it's pretty justified to spend, or you can justify pretty easily to spend a year, 2 years, 3 years not making any money from that, right? Because you know that it's going to pay off eventually. It's the same exact thing here. If you want to find someone who you stay with for 40, 50, 60, 70 years, I think you can justify going on dates for 4 months without sleeping with each other, without kissing each other. And by the way, I'm not saying this for religious reasons. I'm not religious, and this is simply logic to me. So let's go into lesson number 2 now. Why does slow love work? Here's the thing. With fast love, if we can call it that, you have these intense ups and downs, right? You feel fantastic every once in a while to then feel shit because they leave you on red or they ghost you or whatever else, right? All this stuff. This is not a sign of love or a sign of passion. These intense ups and downs, these massive positive or negative feelings. This is not a sign of love. This is a sign of an activated attachment system, and I'll explain what that is. In simple terms, most people nowadays, especially young people, have grown to equate love with this feeling of up and down, up and down, up and down, which it is not. These are internal wounds being triggered or not being triggered. You either feeling secure because the other person is giving you a lot of reciprocation, a lot of love, a lot of kindness, or feeling like shit because, like, feeling very insecure, right, when they don't text back quickly, or when they overwhelm you, when they love bomb you, whatever terms people use these days. And here's the thing, these are not attachment styles, these are attachment wounds. Every time that you feel great, the other person probably puts a band-aid on your wound. They're not touching that wound, maybe they're even healing it. But every time you feel like shit, they're ripping that band-aid off and punching you in that exact spot. That's not love. Yes, you think that is love because that's how your parents treated you. Same for me, by the way. And I won't go into that. I love my parents, right? I have a very good relationship with my parents these days, but that wasn't always the case. Anyway, your parents probably treated you like that. They were maybe distant, maybe they were a bit aloof, maybe they were overwhelming. Maybe you had that kind of overbearing mother who was always taking care of you, who never let you fall on your face, who never let you learn from your mistakes. Of course, we love our parents, right? Just as children. Well, they're like, without our parents, we would die as babies. And so we grow to love them, and so we think, oh shit, okay, how my parents treated me, that must be love. Or how past partners treated me, that must be love. This is a thing that most people forget. They think, well, my parents treated me pretty well, why am I so fucked up? Well, maybe because you had a partner who cheated on you 3 times. Now let's go into these attachment wounds. These can be healed like any other wound, but please understand that wounds don't heal just because time passes. A physical wound, if you have a cut in your hand, yes, it takes time for that wound to heal, because it takes time for your body to have the mechanisms in place, or to put the mechanisms into place where your wound will heal again. It doesn't just heal with time, it heals because there's a process going on in your body to heal it. People think that they can heal their attachment wounds just because time passes, but no, you have to do something during that time. And here's the thing, until you start tackling these internal wounds, you will have a very hard time to find a person that you actually align with, that you actually can build a healthy, secure, fun relationship with. Because, well, how would you find a person who's different when you're not different? If nothing changes, nothing changes. And of course, this also applies to when you're in a relationship. The person who makes you feel at ease, who makes you feel calm, that's the person who will help you heal those wounds. But you can't just be with them and expect your wounds to heal. First of all, you have to do the groundwork for a person like that to even be interested in you. But then secondly, when you're in a relationship, yes, they don't rip your band-aids off constantly. They don't constantly punch you in that exact spot again. But just because you're with them, yes, that might help you heal, but you still have to do the internal work. Now look, for me personally, my girl has always been very secure. She had a bit of an avoidant side in the past, which she worked on over time, and I personally was extremely anxious. And extremely is not an exaggeration. People think that the stories I tell are exaggerations, but they're not. I was anxious to the point where if my girl didn't text me back for like 2 hours while we were on long distance, I would literally think that she was cheating on me in this very moment, and that she would, that some guy would text me with her phone and be like, hey bro, she's busy, don't text her. Like literally to that point. There were times, man, there were times where I slept in the same bed as her, and I thought she would maybe sneak out at night and cheat on me while I was sleeping in the same bed as her. That's how fucked my attachment system was. And there were no red flags from her side, by the way. She was the most loving, most secure person I have ever met, and she still is that person. And still I had these thoughts. And I understood at that point, and this is crucial for you to understand as well, I understood that it was not my fault that I was at this point. That people hurt me, and now I'm at this point. I understood that that was not my fault. But I also understood that it was my responsibility to make sure that I'm not at this point anymore in the future, and that I have to do some internal work. And before we get into the one lesson that will make or break your chances of building this slow, deep, meaningful love, I want to quickly mention that for the guys who are interested, I do offer coaching and mentoring. So if you're someone who is interested in having someone that you can learn from directly, then you can apply for a free alignment call with me personally using the link in the description. So if you're interested, check that out after the video is over. I'll explain this more at the end. Now here's lesson number 3. Trust each other to develop into the same direction. Look, when there's 2 people involved, there's always this danger that you develop into different directions. And yes, it would be great, it would be fantastic, it would be perfect if both of you had already fully found each other and you fully know who you are and you know all your little, little quirks. Is that a word? I'm German, by the way. I think quirks is a word. You know your needs, you know how to communicate. That would be fantastic if you know that at the start of the relationship. But the reality is that's not the case. That was not the case for me. That was not the case for my girl. That was not the case for anyone who I've met in my life so far. Look, at any point when you're in a relationship, you and her will hopefully still develop yourselves, and you will hopefully continue doing that until the end of your life. And sometimes we do those experiments where we try to figure ourselves out, when we try to figure out what we want out of life, and those experiments can be quite scary for your partner or for both of you for that matter. One of the things that me and my girl are going through right now, which is kind of scary, is that I might not want to live in Germany long term, but she might want to live in Germany long term. I want to surf. That's why there's an ocean behind me. There is ocean in Germany. I said in one of my videos that there's no ocean in Germany. That's bullshit. There is ocean in Germany, but not where I'm from. And so I'm checking out different countries. I'm checking out where I want to live long term, but she might not be able to follow me on that path. And that is scary. But we have to trust each other that we will find a way to make it work, or that we will potentially move on from this relationship if we see that it doesn't make any sense for us to be together because we just simply want opposite things out of life, right? And that's scary, man. After 7 years, that is fucking terrifying. But it's the reality of things. And when you build that capacity to trust each other to develop yourselves into similar directions, that can help a lot. Because yes, I'm checking out different countries. Yes, my girl is figuring out whether she wants to live in Germany, and she's checking out these countries with me, right? We're figuring this stuff out. We're simply trusting that we will, in the end, do the thing that's best for both of us. And hopefully that will be staying together. But I want to read you a quote here that, or not a quote, a comment that someone left on my channel, where he said, I was with my ex for 3 years. My insecurities caused her to leave, and only then did I see that my insecurities were holding me back. Insecurity is the opposite of trust at the end of the day, right? He wasn't able to trust his girl fully, and therefore she left because she knows that she deserves better, probably. And if you're watching this, the guy who commented this, I'm sorry to hear this, man, but you watching these videos is a step in the right direction. You're doing well, man. And then another guy commented that he ended things with his girl because he was so insecure. So the other way around, he was still insecure, but he ended things with his girl. And then he also commented, but through it, I could finally see the stories we tell ourselves are exactly that. Stories. Your brain is making up things to protect you. That's what the brain does. It predicts and it protects. The heart trusts and has patience. The mind predicts and protects. And so your mind, just like my mind, is making up stories, is making up, all these stories, these delusional stories that might not ever come true. My brain telling me that my girl might not want to live in the same place that I want to live in long term That's delusion. I don't even know that yet. I've barely seen anything of the world. She has barely seen anything of the world. We have no idea. I haven't traveled much in my life so far. And so I don't know where I want to live long term. And before I figure that out, I can't decide, or I can't figure out whether she wants to live there as well or not. So these stories, don't listen to them. You'll never reach true depth if you, number one, always listen to your mind telling you all these stories, and number two, if you never surrender to the universe, to God, to the world, whatever you want to call it, whatever terminology you want to use. And I'm not talking about resignation, I'm talking about surrender, meaning you control what you can control and you surrender the outcome. I control checking out all these different countries and helping my girl feel as good as possible in those countries. I also try to be as happy as possible in Germany. We figure this stuff out together, and then we surrender the outcome. We see what happens, and that is scary. But if you learn to trust the world, that means you've learned to trust yourself. And if you trust yourself and the world, it's kind of easy to trust someone else's development. Going through tough phases like this together and coming out on top, on the other side, together, does not just build true and deep connection, it is also one of the most beautiful experiences that most men unfortunately never make. Now, one last thing before I tell you exactly how you can apply for working with me if you're interested in that. I want to share some deep thoughts that I've had over the last week that I was actually back in my home country of Germany. Because the fact that you always watch these videos, the fact that you invest your time and your energy into something so incredibly useful, the fact that I get regular DMs from guys telling me which exact piece of advice has helped them change their relationship for the better, and for me, most importantly, the fact that my voice is being heard, the fact that you are trusting me, out of anyone, you're trusting me with this massively important part of your life called relationships. That's mind-blowing to me. And I don't know how to express this overwhelming sense of gratitude that I feel about this. So man, I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you if you're watching this. Now, for the guys who might be watching this, who might be interested in working with me, if that's you, listen up here. What I can offer you, and what I've offered many guys that I've worked with, is a free alignment call with me, which is basically a call where you and I get together and we talk about exactly what is holding you back from building the exact relationship that you want to build, and from through that, living the exact life that you want to live. Because I've helped so many guys already who felt stuck in their relationship, or who felt stuck because they went from failed relationship to failed relationship. And I've helped them build this relationship where they felt so trusted, so supported by their women, so admired, so desired, so respected. And their women felt so joyful, so peaceful, so radiant. If that's what you're looking for, if you want to stop messing around, and if you want clear guidance, if you want a clear path forward, then what you can do is you can click the link in the description of this video. It will take you to a page where you can fill out an application form, which is 6 questions, takes literally 2 minutes. If you fill this out, and if it looks like you are qualified to work with me, you will then be able to schedule a free alignment call with me right then and there. Meaning you could literally be talking to me within the next couple hours if my calendar is free. If this sounds interesting to you, if you want to see whether I can actually help you and whether I can get you to where you want to go, if there is a good fit for both of us to work together, then you can do that right now. No strings attached. If we get on this call and we figure out, hey, we're not a good fit, this is not what we're looking for here, we'll go separate ways. That's completely okay with me. I simply want to offer you this opportunity to actually take yourself and this massive part of your life called relationships to that next level. So check it out, link in description. I'll see you very soon. Have a great day.